Hey everybody, it's Amy Gretchen. Thank you so much for joining me today, and a big welcome back to some December daily videos. As you recall, last year in 2020, I was having such problems with my computer. Everything was freezing up and it was so frustrating, and I was afraid that it was going to take away from me actually completing my album. So I decided to put the videos on hold and knew that I would hop back into them and share them with you once September came around, as we were waiting for our boxes to arrive with all our new December daily goodies, and just getting excited about starting into a new year, into new supplies, and getting our albums ready to go for December 1st. So definitely look for videos from now until probably sometime in November until I finish up this album. And of course, I will do a complete walkthrough of this album as well, so you can see it in its entirety. So let's hop in. I left off with day 8, so this is actually day 9. And for day 9, I'm telling a story about the snow and how much I love the snow. And I think the photo there is maybe the first big snowstorm that we had. I can't now remember last year because we actually didn't get a lot of snow, but I think this is one of the first times the snow fell. And I just wanted to tell my story about how much I love it. So I wrote my story onto vellum, and my plan is this white piece of paper here. You can see that it has 2 half circles, and those half circles are what are going to hold the vellum into place, because it's hard to adhere vellum onto things and not actually show that adhesive. So anyway, I didn't want it to just be a plain white piece of paper. I wanted to have some texture. And so I got this embossing folder, and honestly, I can't remember where it's from, but I will find it and link it below if I can. I think it's from Simon Says Stamp, or it could be from We Are Memory Keepers, but I will look for it. And if it's available, I will definitely link it down below. But as you'll see, I decided to emboss the paper, and it was kind of funny because I could not figure out the sandwich for this embossing folder. Everything was too thick or too thin. So I decided to pull over some thicker paper. I think that was like watercolor paper, and it actually worked really well. So you can see that I just tried everything I had and nothing worked, and the paper saved me. So if all else fails, stack paper together and see if that will help you with your sandwich. So you see that it created this really beautiful snowflake type design, and it just adds a little bit of texture to the white, and I absolutely love it. This is something I have done in the past, and I will continue to do because I think it adds that texture. It's very subtle, and I just think it's very beautiful, especially in a December daily album. So I could have just left it really simple, but of course, you have to add the number, and I'm trying to think of how to add the number. And as I was sitting there looking at it, I realized this is so similar to a day that I did in one of my December daily albums. I think back in 2016, maybe 17. I think I told a very similar story, and I think I did a very similar treatment. And so I was like, I'm just going to do the same thing because I can. So I grabbed over the Simon Says Stamp snowflake die, and I will have the exact one linked below. I think I may have got it last year or the year before, so hopefully they're still available. They tend to keep their stuff in stock. But anyway, I decided to grab over the small snowflake and to add it on. I do end up doing multiple and stacking those together. And of course, I brought over my absolute favorite number set that I think Allie has ever done, ever. I love this set so much, and I'm going to be really, really sad when it's over. In fact, I was thinking like maybe I won't do December Daily anymore when it's over, but I'll just have to make my own. This is definitely something that would be easy to make, but I love these because they are so easy to add to, I feel like, any page. But anyway, so I end up stacking multiple snowflakes together just because I want I want it to have a little bit more texture and not just be one. Plus, I only wanted to glue the center down on the photo so that the snowflake would kind of be lifted off and kind of almost look like it's floating there. So that's what I'll end up doing, and you'll see. And I'm just gluing it with some liquid adhesive, and then you'll see that I'll just glue it right on top of the photo. So like I said, this is a really pretty simple day, but it has a few little finishes to make it a little bit special, like that embossing folder. So definitely look for little things like that that you can add that can just really make a big difference to your page. One thing that I wanted to remind you guys as I'm hopping back into these December dailies is my album is a 4x5 size, so it's definitely smaller. But I also want you to remember that whatever I am doing, it's really easy to translate to a 6x8, especially because the dimensions of a 4x6 are the exact same as a 6x8, just a little bit bigger. So keep that in mind as you're seeing me work through these videos. You could definitely do something similar. You just need a larger photo and maybe a bigger snowflake or something like that. So there's definitely ways to change everything that I'm doing to work with your larger albums. So anyway, hopping back into what I'm actually doing, I am now finished, but the last thing to do is to add it into the album. So I'll do that by adhering the left side of this page onto the back side of day 8. And you can see that I'm using the table in my hands to really get that so it goes on perfectly. I will tell you that white piece of paper is a cut file, and that's how I created those half moons. If you are interested in something like that, I will have this file available on my Etsy shop, definitely linked below. I will have a 4x5 size, and I will also have a 6x8 size. So if you're interested in something like that, adding it to your album, you can go ahead and check that out. And then I'm just going to punch the holes, and I'm not going to be punching the holes for the photo. I'm going to wait till I'm done with day 10, because sometimes I think it's a little bit cleaner to do it that way. So I'm just going to wait, and you guys, we are finished with day 9. Thank you so much for joining me today. And of course, if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll be happy to answer them for you. I'm super excited to be back, you guys. We'll see you next time.